Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for a very messy crafting session here today. Part of our series of kind of using up the craft mistakes that we've bought, or the things that we kind of think, oh, why did I buy that? Wish I hadn't bought that really. I don't know about you guys, but over the years I have bought a lot of flowers. Some of which I have used and absolutely loved, some of which I haven't. I'm always drawn to colour, as you know, so I have obviously subsequently bought tons of flowers which are very brightly coloured. I've bought these types that are sort of patterned and things, and then found obviously that I'm then struggling to actually use them now that I'm more into junk journals. I also have over the years accumulated, like the flowers from like a Hawaiian necklace. I think these were from like a birthday party where people were wearing the Hawaiian necklaces, and they have just been in a massive jar for absolutely, forever. And this is obviously that really weird kind of nylon-y type fabric. You'll have to excuse my fingers. I have obviously already been doing some of this. Some of that kind of nylon-y fabric, which is obviously very hard to change the colour of. It's quite resistant. So all I've got here is a little pot, and all I've done is taken, those alcohol inks, and I've used ginger and butterscotch and kind of mixed the two together, and then I have sprayed in some of the Perfect Pearls mists in with them, and then obviously just dunked my flowers in. Now obviously I have used this, wow, look at the colour of that one, several times already, and kept on popping more in, less in, and mucking about with the colour. So at the moment, as you can see, it's tremendously dark, but that's quite good because it's quite nice to get a whole bunch of different colours going on. Really, I should be using obviously plastic gloves. I saw Andrea from Artie Mays do a video where she was using the alcohol inks and what have you, and of course she had plastic gloves on, and she of course did not get messy at all. I, however, I don't have any plastic gloves, and rather than wait, because I'm a very impatient person, I just wanted to crack on with this and get doing this. So of course I'm now here with the disgusting inky fingers, but that's me really. So I apologise now. So can you see now? I mean, I now have a whole array of different sludgy type colour flowers. Now, obviously they look revolting. They're wet and, yucky. I'm sure that they're going to dry up much better sort of colours on them. I'm just going to pop them out of the way slightly. And I would just dunk in a whole bunch more, because whilst I'm doing this, I might as well, do lots of them, because otherwise it's just, pointless kind of doing them really. I mean, I am pretty confident I'm not going to use really any of these in their current colours. So, I might as well just colour them all. Well, or certainly the bulk of them. I might keep some brightly coloured ones for if my daughter wants to use them or anything like that. Or if we've got sort of school crafts and things that require slightly more upbeat colours. But in the main, I'm going to try and colour most of them to use, obviously, in future projects. Whoops. Okay. And it's nice to have an arrangement or an array of different shades, because then if you layer your flowers up, you can layer them up with obviously some some quite dark, some a bit lighter. It's quite nice to have the sort of different shades going on. So the fact that this is super dark, that's okay with me. I don't mind that. So again, I've just kind of layered them all up on there. Now obviously I'm going to dry these in a moment. Let me just cut these off, washes off. I'm going to dry these in a moment with my heat gun, so I will spare you that boredom. I've also got obviously the paper flowers. Now I'm going to just squirt a couple of squirts of this in. So I'm going to take like this one, which is, as you can see, a patterned flower, and just pop that in. Now, can you see, I mean, that's really, really dark. So if I don't want that dark, I can obviously lighten it up with a bit more of the Perfect Pearls. Oops. I mean, obviously I could use water, but I quite like the Perfect Pearls because they give obviously a sort of metallic-y finish. Now this one, can you see, it's still visible that it's got those dots on there. So short of kind of like colouring it in black, I'm a bit stumped as to what to do. Now this one here, you can see it's got silver swirls on. So what I would do, if I can't cover up the silver swirls, so let me just pop a bit more of the mists in. If I can't cover up the silver swirls, then what I will do is use it upside down, that way up. And this one, I'm just going to dip like the edges of the petals into the mixture, like that. And then squirt the Perfect Pearls over it. So then you've got kind of darker edges of the flowers, whoops, like that, which is also, again, quite nice. Now this one, as you can see, I mean, it's pretty delicate shape. So I'm just going to squidge it together like that. Hopefully I've kind of got most of the edges. Just missed out those. I'll just pop those in. And then I'm going to just again go over with the Perfect Pearls. Oops. And just dab it around a little bit. I mean, as you can tell, I am, not good with techniques like this because, I've never seen Artie Mays kind of get in this sort of mess. And she makes obviously a fantastic job of it all. But, just because obviously things like this are not something you normally do, it doesn't mean that that you shouldn't join in. So I suppose that's kind of what I'm thinking here to myself, So that one again, I'm just going to kind of press that in like that. So, I mean, we've covered most of that to get rid of that checker kind of pattern. So I'm going to add some pink into this mixture now. I don't know whether this is going to kind of show up much because it is very brown, but I'm just going to add some more of that Perfect Pearls. Oh, again, I'm just going to pop these now to one side, and I will dry all of these in a minute. I know I keep saying it, but I really will. So I'm just going to grab a couple more of those Hawaiian flowers and pop them in because I've now obviously added the pink. So we'll just see what happens to those now. Again, I mean, my whole hands are in here, but never mind. Oh, I mean, look at that gorgeous purple, or that was lilac to begin with, but wow, look at that colour now. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, love that colour. The green, well, I'm sure the green will be useful like that, to be honest. There's a couple of greens stuck together. So I'm just going to make sure that everything's covered. These are the orange ones, which I really love the colour of the orange. Oh, but my favourite definitely is that purple. Just absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? So again, I'm just going to kind of take them all out. Okay, so very, very messy here. How not to do it. Again, it's another one of those how not to. How Not To videos, which, you know, they just seem to be a theme running at the moment on my channel. So I apologise for that, but I think it's because I'm doing things that I don't normally do. You know, these are like things that are new techniques to me. So I can only apologise really. Right. So I'm just bringing them all out like that. Okay. Okay. Right. Look at my hands now. Yuck, yuck. Right. Let me get a wipe. So an actual wet wipe to try and clean off a little bit at least. Ugh. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to pop these now to one side, and then the final thing that I'm going to do, I think I've got some blue here. And again, I mean, most people would probably clean out before they actually added colours into the mix, but I just think, well, you know, let's go for it. Let's see what we can create. So I will probably have made brown now, which would be typical, wouldn't it, as if we didn't have enough brown flowers. Right, so we'll pop one in and see how that comes out. Oh, look, brown. Well, it's kind of brown with hints of blue, I guess, so it's not too bad. Just spray a little bit on there. Okay. It's quite nice, actually. Let me get some more of the blue. I mean, again, I'm being very extravagant with this. It's all because I don't really know how to use it properly. But, you know, it's, again, just something that I've had for years. It's just been sat on my shelf. I haven't used it. And, you know, therefore, I just well just use it now. Now, this, you see, I'm now just getting pure blue, which probably is better, isn't it, than that sort of sludgy colour. So just obviously rubbing this into that flower. I mean, to be honest, I don't know whether I'm going to upload this video because it's just so appalling. You know, this is just, well, an embarrassment really, but I mean, you know, we don't all know how to do these things, do we? And, you know, we don't all have the right equipment. So that's my excuse. Right. Let's do another blue one. Oops. So I'll just kind of rub this in a little bit here. Well, to be honest, I might as well just dip my fingers in because I'm pretty mucky now anyway. It's really making no difference whatsoever to the state of me, so I might as well just go for it, to be honest. Right, let's try it on the green. Ah, look at that lovely colour of the green. It's coming out a really lovely blue. So, you know, my technique might be very off here. Well, I mean, my technique is very off here, but to be honest, I'm hopefully going to actually now have some flowers that I can use rather than flowers that, you know, I've had for yonks and haven't used. Right, I must stop dipping them in because they are coming out then very, very dark and, you know, not such yummy blue colours. So that's another blue one. So I'm going to get some more card and just place that on the top and then just going to rub them together to get that blue off of there. I mean, obviously this is far from the technique, and to be honest, I did not envisage didn't envisage this video being like this. You know, I envisaged me being Andrea, really, from Artie Mays, and I just don't know. Yeah, I definitely had not envisaged getting quite so messy. I hadn't envisaged being quite so bodgy and awful with my technique, but you know, like I always kind of say to the children when we make cakes and they turn out looking shocking. I mean, I made a Swiss roll once and oh my gosh, well, it did not resemble a Swiss roll by any stretch of the imagination. It was kind of just like a big mess. But, you know, as we kind of always laugh and say, well, it's not about the looks, it's about the taste. And, you know, my gosh, it still tasted great. So I'm going to go with that theory here and kind of say, well, you know, this might have been a very unorthodox method, but if my flowers turn out looking okay, that's good enough for me. Oops, look, I just well overdid that, didn't I? So now I'll have to go round the whole thing really, because otherwise it's a sort of blotchy flower that then I won't really be able to use anywhere. Right, okay. Oops, I'll probably tear it in a moment. Okay, so I'm just going to pop another one in, because what's quite good is then I've got enough on here to ink up my paper flowers. Like that. Oh, come back. Yeah, I'm not sure whether I'm going to upload this because, I mean, there's bodgy crafting and there's bodgy crafting, let's face it. This is just awful. Awful, awful, awful. Right, okay. This has gone like mud now, so that's probably a lot of the problem here. So let's put the navy blue one in and see what happens to that, because presumably it's not really going to do a lot to navy blue, but oh, look at that purple. Looks quite cool, doesn't it? Do the orange. The orange has gone quite brown. Let's do the yellow, and then I'm going to dry these off. And hopefully, I'm going to go and wash my hands. Hopefully, I mean, of course, my hands are going to stay like this now for a couple of days, I suspect. I don't for 1 minute think they're going to come clean, but I will at least feel a bit better, because they won't have that sticky kind of residue on them. And I will dry the flowers and come back and show you guys. And hopefully, despite my appalling, literally appalling methods, you know, I'm hoping that I'm going to have some pretty flowers then to share with you guys. So we'll see. Just quickly finish this one off. I'm not over keen on these spidery kind of flowers either, actually. That's another thing that I have kind of come to discover. Right, I will be back. Right, guys, I am back. Still messy. I scrubbed and scrubbed for quite some time, but no, it's going to probably be like that for the next few days, I suspect. So I apologise now for any forthcoming videos where that's going to be how I look. So I do apologise. But I have dried my petals now. And I thought I would come and share, obviously, how they look with you guys. Really pretty. I mean, I love all these colours clustered together. They look gorgeous and yummy, don't they? Oops. Gorgeous and yummy all together. You know, lots of different shades and what have you kind of achieved there. The one that I was going to show you, which I've now just literally covered up. It was there at the top and now I've covered it up here. So this one, I just went over it with a bit of nail varnish just to see, you know, what that did as well. You know, I mean, sometimes you like kind of sparkly flowers. I have to say, it's changed the texture quite significantly. It now, can you hear? It's got a papery effect compared to that one. So, you know, whether or not you like the glitter, I do love that feel of almost like a sort of paper flower. Yeah, so I quite like the feel of it. You know, possibly a clear nail varnish or something like that would kind of do it without the glitter. I don't know. But if I just kind of show you, you know, we could layer a couple up. And for instance, I like using the pearl centres. I mean, that's how that would look, that pearl centre. So quite pretty, and definitely if I just pull in the original, compared to the original, which, I mean, to me, that was kind of almost unusable in a junk journal. That now, perfectly usable, I think, in a junk journal. So hopefully you can kind of see between the two. I mean, you could try distressing them. I don't know, to be perfectly honest, whether it's going to make a lot of difference. Because this is quite nylon-y stuff, it's sort of resistant a bit to much distressing and things. But yeah, I don't think it's really doing an awful lot, to be honest. But you could give it a try. I mean, you could maybe try something like StazOn or something. If I just kind of have a look, I mean, quite honestly, my hands are filthy anyway, so what's the difference? You could maybe go around a bit with the StazOn just at the edges of the petals, and that just picks up the kind of creases a little bit more, you know, like where they've got the creases when they kind of sell them like that. So just for something a little bit more definition, I suppose, you know, a bit more defined on there. In fact, if I just go further down, because obviously otherwise it's not really kind of right the way down. So we'll just go further down like that and then pop that in there. I mean, that's really nice, isn't it? It's got quite a lot of interest going on in there. Unfortunately, this petal is actually a bit misshapen. Can you see the petal? I don't, you know, I'm not over keen on that. So let me just try and give you another example with one that's not misshapen. So like that. I mean, that's really nice, isn't it? Now this one hasn't got really many lines to be able to kind of pick up the lines with the StazOn. That one's a bit better. So again, if I just kind of go along, and I'm just lightly pressing that onto the ink pad. I mean, I suppose, you know, if we just do it there in the middle, it's got just that effect that flowers kind of have, just darker in the middle. Or, you know, different colour maybe in the middle. Could play around and obviously alter them and do some other things. I mean, I've got some liquid pearls here from a different project. I mean, what's one other thing on my hand, to be honest, at this stage? So I'm going to try it on the, you know, the misshapen petal, just in case I don't like it too much. So, but you could put just a bit of pearly edge on them, like that. Oops. Going round like that. A bit more. And like that. So then if you wanted that one, then obviously just got a kind of pearly effect going on. So hopefully that's kind of visible in the camera. You know, so there's quite a few different options that you can do there playing around. I'll just bring in my paper ones that we did as well. They're still quite wet, I'm afraid, because I didn't really want to dry them too much with the heat gun because they were kind of then, you know, beginning to fall apart a bit. But I just thought I would show you, you know, how they're coming along. I mean, of course, you could kind of mix and match and layer paper with the fabric ones. So, I mean, that looks quite pretty. So, I mean, I guess really what I'm trying to demonstrate, very poorly, obviously, in my kind of comedy video here, is just, you know, don't kind of give up or bin things and think, oh, you know, I'm never going to use that, because with a little bit of alteration and quite a bit of mess, you could probably use most of your little bits and pieces, I think, anyway. So yes, I hope that that was kind of, well, probably not useful except in any other way other than, you know, please do not do this. But yes, thank you for watching, and oh, please don't judge me too harshly in the comments below. Thanks very much then. Bye.